No power is beyond my understanding.
Gentlemen and lady, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy in baby blue. I just think this color makes me look kinda cute. I recently noticed that I didn't cover the 1000 Suns a single time on my channel yet. I just did an Airman event video a year ago or something like that, but it doesn't count. So today we're gonna correct that, and I'm back today with a deck guide for you guys for the Primarch Magnus the Red. The 1000 Suns are all about psychic energy and psychic powers. They basically have a secondary resource which their warlords generate, or some of their troops as well. Some tactics too, but we're not gonna look into that too much. They have been kinda broken since their release, either in a bad state or in a good state. Like, I remember during release they were batshit crazy, then they got nerfed a bit, but then you kinda never played their troops, you just played a basically neutral deck and used the psychic powers to swing the tempo and just get an unfair advantage, so to say. It's just really hard to balance secondary resources in a game like that. You're basically breaking the rule of your own game here, because you have a warlord, you have energy, and you play cards from your hand using that energy. And yeah, the 1000 Suns, they break this rule by having slightly worse statted troops, but having those free cheat spells. But they're all not too crazy, and I think they are in a pretty good state right now. And that's why you don't see them too much, because if it's not bonkers, you don't see it on ladder. It's easy as that. Honestly, I had fun with it during my last stream, and I just picked it up over the few days, and I climbed it to high terror, which is good enough, I suppose. So we're basically playing solid 1000 Suns mid-range. This is a deck which really punishes you if you're using your tools incorrectly, or if you're wasteful with psychic energy, etc, etc. On the other hand, if you're using the tools correctly and predict what your opponent does, you will have really good results with this. So it's not the easiest deck to play, in my opinion, and you also need a couple of legendaries here, so it's also not budget friendly. But nonetheless, let's check it out. So I want to talk about the Primarch first a little bit. He's basically just a 40 HP buddy with a somewhat decent whispers. It's a defensive whispers, it's basically a panic button. We don't really aim for it, but when we get it, we get it. And it actually, I got it fairly often. It's very good against stuff like Karn or even Amit with all those random pings. And yeah, I think it's just pretty cool that you can receive them sometimes. They're not really a win condition here. His ability though, you use psychic energy for it, yeah? So usually you don't really want to waste it. You really only want to use the psychic energy on psychic abilities, so Ash and Blow, Astral Warfare, and whatever you're generating. Only scenario where I like to do this is when I have an abundance of psychic energy, which doesn't happen often, but sometimes it does, and then I use the ability just on my opponent's face. Another good scenario, for example, is when you're playing against Center and he's playing a Terek squad turn 1. You don't have a 2-leg, you can't finish it off with a face bash, so what are you gonna do? Well, throw your ability at it. What's gonna happen? The worst thing that's gonna happen is you put it in 2 HP and you can finish it with a face bash the next turn. So you save 2 HP and wasted 2 psychic energy, but I think it's a good deal. The best thing that can happen is that you kill it. And of course you can just, to save some health, ping something if it's on 1 health to guarantee the kill. 2 health, debatable. You can also narrow it down the RNG a little bit with 2-leg or Informer Network or something like that. Don't use his ability too much. He's basically just a 40 HP buddy with a decent whispers and a psychic energy generator. First card on my list is Ambassador Melgator. I really like him here because he's multi-purpose, and I really like to play Melgator where he is multi-purpose. Of course you can use him to bounce annoying stuff like Angel's Tears, Cacophony Commander, but if you happen to be in a situation where you can't bounce anything from your opponent and you know it, or you're kind of desperate for something, like you can bounce and get zacked. You're fishing for lethal, you really want that Witchfire or that Psychic Clash or whatever, so you play and get zacked, don't get it, bounce it with Melgator. Of course you can also bounce 2-leg for a double ping, Cabal to get another Psychic Barrier, Immunus Squad to gain 4 Psychic Energy. It's not very cost efficient, but in some late game scenarios it actually works pretty good. So, as I mentioned, multi-purpose here, really like him, I think I must include. Then we get a Same. I think that's a card some of you guys didn't even know exists. But yeah, it does, and I think in 1000 Suns it's pretty good, because, well, Survivor 2 on your Warlord with Magnus is not too bad, because then your opponent will have a harder time killing you. The more damage you take, the more likely you are to achieve Whispers, but we're not using the Survivor part too much again, except against really heavy aggro and when we are desperate. What we use this on is like Melgator for powerful rallies. You can just use it on a Mechatric Cabal, but the most powerful combo here is probably Izzakor Ore. So you play Izzakor Ore, everything gets precog, very powerful effect, and then you smash into your opponent with Izzakor Ore, then bounce him back to your hand, and then replay Izzakor Ore. 2 turns of precognition, and that's, in some matchups, it's huge, it's game winning. So I really like the Same here, a bit situational, but still a nice card which finds its use here. Then we got City of Light. You play this in almost every 1000 Suns deck. Not much to say here. You're best on one play. You gain Psycho 1, so you generate more psychic energy. That's about it. Then Command Bridge, just a very good turn 1 play as well. And I think 1000 Suns is particularly good because you can also fetch for your psychic powers. They count as tactics. That means you can play them for their original cost because you waste normal energy on Command Bridge and then use psychic energy for your psychic powers, so you don't have to pay more for your tactics like you usually do. I really think it does the job here. Then Hot Reckon, 2 copies. I would probably only run 1, but in Magnus, because he's a Primarch and has a little bit of trouble with card draw, I think 2 is reasonable. 1/4, very good stats for 2 energy, and you can basically draw cards for free. Of course it can help you control the board a little bit, but most of the time it's just a major distraction. Your opponent will just face bash into it twice, and if it survives the turns, well, great. If you happen to have like Mechatric Ball the turn after, then you can also protect it from another face bash. And I say for free, of course it costs 1 psychic energy, but it's basically for free because he generates the 1 psychic energy since he has Psycho 1. So you're filling your hand with cards you might need later. Obviously in early game you want to fish for something like the City of Light. Then we got Ankh-Sacked, also just a very solid 1000 Suns troop, 3 energy free, so a bit understated, but it is like that with the 1000 Sun troops most of the time. And you get to choose a psychic card and put it in your hand. Pretty self-explanatory. You want just to fish for something which fits the situation. You won't always get something useful, but what's good about this is that you get some cards which you usually wouldn't main deck. Best example is probably War Portal. I don't main deck it, as you see. It's a good card to have, not in the main deck basically, but to generate it, because like a Thame, like Melgator, we can reuse some of our rallies, most importantly Izuka, and there cards like this come into play. So Ankh-Sacked, I think, really good here. Can help you fish for lethal, and worst case you can maybe get something like a Scrying to cycle, or another Enumerations to draw some couple cards, Witchfire for lethal, Call it Tutelary, Quick Blood to buff your troops, whatever, so it always is useful basically. Then Enumerations, this is a card draw and I really like it because it's free. It's 3 psychic energy though, and we want to be somewhat, I'll say, economic with our psychic energy because we want to use it on Ashen Blow and Astral Warfare. That's the most important part, you know. That's the actual use of psychic energy. So what I like to do if I have it in my starting hand, sometimes I just play it for 3 psychic energy to draw 2 more cards. Good enough. I didn't use up too much psychic energy and I drew 2 cards. It's fine. It's still somewhat free. But if you happen to have a Munis Squad in your hand, which generates 2 psychic energy, what I like to do is keep it in my hand, because if you're playing a Munis Squad on 4 energy and didn't use any psychic energy before that, you will have 6 psychic energy and then you can use it 2 times. Yeah. But most of the time, 1 time is enough, simply because you still want to bank that psychic energy for your psychic powers, obviously. Then Informer Network, my anti-stealth deck of choice. You don't really need anti-stealth too much in this deck because we have a lot of AoE, but I still think it's useful because we are somewhat reliant on normal attacks still, and sometimes your opponent still uses escape vans on high value targets, or you have Marauder squads or something like that, and there you kind of still want to de-stealth them so you can Ashen Blow them, etc. So still finds its use, not really mandatory though because we have a lot of random AoEs and all that. But regardless, I think having an anti-stealth in your deck is somewhat of a safe bet. Then Legionary 2-leg, that's the Battle Last Rifle of the 1000 Suns, but unlike the last rifle, you don't really want to play this on tempo, so on 3 energy. If you can't kill something with it, you always want that killing blow for that 2 extra psychic energy. Basically, it's the best tool early game to trade into something which has 3 health, face bash, and then use Legionary 2-leg. Mechatric Ball, I think this goes in every 1000 Suns deck. This is just very good value, very good stalling troop. You can protect something behind it. I don't really like to play it on 3 just for sheer tempo, except if I'm something against something hyper aggressive like Amit or Lucius or Karn, etc. If it's not the case, I usually use it to protect something or myself from a big troop. So I can maybe kill it with an Ashen Blow in the next turn if I don't have enough psychic energy. Use it wisely, it's kind of dependent on the matchup. So as I mentioned, this deck really benefits from you knowing the matchup and how to use your tools correctly. Mechatric Ball is one of them. So maybe we'll see some examples later in the gameplay part. Next up, a Munis Squad, pretty vanilla, 4 energy for 4 unstoppable, pretty solid, and you also gain 2 psychic energy. Not much to explain here, it's just a very good 1000 Suns troop, pretty much staple I think. Vanilla, but serves its purpose. You can also trick your opponent into thinking you don't have enough psychic energy for an Astral Warfare, because most of the time your opponent, he sees, yeah, you're at 4 psychic energy, will generate 2 next turn, so he's safe to go wide, he's gonna spam the board, but then you can surprise him with the Munis Squad into Astral Warfare, There's some mind games here, but obviously you can just play him on 4. 10 to dust. Yeah, the Thousand Suns have pretty crazy legendaries. This guy has permanent precognition, so he can't be hit by any attacks. And he's like a prime target for the opponent's Melgator, of course. But he generates 2 psychic energy per turn, and he basically also heals you for free because he generates that energy back. Particularly good on Magnus because the more health he has, the more damage he can take, and the easier it is to achieve Whispers. And must have in any Thousand Suns deck, really much to explain your excellent troop. Then we got the hidden one. I don't like him actually too much, that's why I also only run 1 copy, but he's simply standalone good because, again, he has that permanent precognition. Why I don't like him too much for attack? If he gets Megatored, you're gonna have a pretty bad time, but I really like his ability, because if you're up against something like the White Scars mission deck, where you get ODK'd and you really can't do much against that deck, except if you draw Ore, and then you Athame it like for another turn, and then you kill him over 2 turns or something. With Hidden One, you can get something like the Precognition card with the White Scars, or if you're up against Space Wolves, get their Spear. It's 2 energy, but we're a Primarch Warlord, so we kinda struggle with card draw. I really like to use his ability, and he's again just the psychic energy generator. I don't use him to attack too much. Most of the time he just stands around there, uses his ability, generates psychic energy. But of course, if you have a good trade with him, go for it. Only 1 copy because the ability still costs normal energy. And yeah, he gets Megatored way too often, which kind of pisses me off sometimes. But yeah, you know how it is. Issachar Ore, the bread and butter of this deck. This is a must-have legendary in my opinion. Probably one of the strongest rallies in the whole game if you ask me. Precognition on your whole board can set up lethal, and he's a 5/5 for 5 himself. Use him wisely. It again depends on the matchup, of course. If you're up against the center, like whatever, drop him on 5, doesn't matter. Yeah, but if you're up against, I don't know, if you're in a mid-range matchup, you kind of want to save him for a really big blow. For example, play something like an Ankit Sack, donate energy, and then Issachar Ore, so you have more stuff to precog. Then of course see if you have something like a Athame in your hand, and kind of play mind games when you see your opponent is about to land the killing blow. If you're up against Sons of Horus, wait for the Master Play to play it. So really use him wisely. I think the only matchup where you can use him, like, regardless, it's probably Karn, of course. Just 1 turn of precog is 1 turn of precog. It doesn't matter. And of course, burn decks like Santa or Perturabo, where the precog really doesn't matter. Must have legendary, as mentioned, rewards you for playing him correctly. And I really like him. I hope, again, I can show you some examples later on how to use him correctly. Then we got Manifest Destiny. I actually was a bit conflicted about this card, because I simply don't like it too much. It's 5 energy, do nothing. It's like insurance, but yeah, you don't really pay for insurances in this game. It's more of a real life thing, I guess. But this thing really saved me a couple games here. It's simply, again, because of his Whispers. That's how it works. You can also combine it with the Athame to gain Survivor 7. Sometimes the games are getting pretty close, and it was good to achieve Whispers, and in the end it kind of won me the game. Of course, if you have something else to play on 5 energy, do it, and you want to keep this kind of as an insurance, as a joker. If you have it and have nothing to play it, play it. But most of the time you have something better to play it. Even if it is something like Ankit Sack for 3 energy and you have 5 energy, still play the Ankit Sack. Yeah, you know what I mean? You kind of only want to play it if you're in a tough spot or if you have nothing else to play. But then it is pretty good. I initially thought it wouldn't be, but it is because of Magnus Whispers. Next up is the Qua Speeder, I guess. 5 energy, 3/5, so not that great. But it has flank and cleave too, so it's kind of an AoE flanker. And it helps especially against stuff like Space Wolves, where you can't kill their big warded stuff with your Ashen Blows. Overall, I think it fits the deck very well. You can combine it with Astral Warfare for some more AoE. And next up is Book of Magnus. I really like this one, not a Master Legendary in my opinion, but it has been fairly decent. It's basically 5 energy, draw 3 cards, but at the same time it's a fetch like Command Bridge. You know what you're getting most of the time, unless you generated a lot of stuff with Ankit Sack and you recycle it, and then you maybe get some random psychic powers you generated. But if you only played your own psychic powers, you always know what you're gonna get back. In worst case, again, it's just 5 energy, draw 3 cards, which is fair. In the best case, you can set up for something like a cool lethal. You generated the Witchfire with Ankit Sack, used it, then you play Book of Magnus, and then you recycle it. So you also recycle the cards which you generated, which is cool. And yeah, overall decent legendary. Not a must-have, but I dig it. Next up, Aramis Cabal. This is already kind of our late game troop. They are just overall very, very solid. Probably the best non-legendary Thousand Suns troop. 6 energy, 6/6, and Psycho 3, and they also get Precognition for a turn. So they're a good, strong hitter. Most of the time, these are the guys which will eat the opponent's heart removal. I don't use their ability too much. You probably want to use their ability more if you're playing like for the mission. It's just a lot of psychic energy you can get here, 7 energy on your own in a whole turn. So with your Warlord Psyker, with their ability and their Psyker, you can get an Astral Warfare ready in 1 turn. Just overall, really good troop. I think you can play 2 copies in any 1000 sound stack and they will always pay for their value. And we top it off with our Psychic powers, Ash and Blow, so 6 energy, Psychic energy, destroy an enemy troop, pretty self-explanatory, that's heart removal, and that's our AoE, Astral Warfare, 2 to 5 damage, random as fuck, but most of the time it does the deed. When you low roll, feels bad, when you high roll, feels bad, but yeah, it is free, as I tend to say. That's why it is playable, since you still can play stuff for your regular energy, so it's fine because it's Psychic energy, you know? But yeah, random and me, you know the combination. Anyway, that's the deck. I hope I explained it somewhat well, but it's always easier if you just see the gameplay later. But as usual, if you don't agree with me on some of my card choices, or if you're missing some of these cards, I've got some card alternatives for you. First off, of course, the mission. I want to talk about it real quick. It's actually not that bad. It's, again, super random though. You can complete it relatively easily. It's a bit late game heavy, so I guess you can include it in your deck if you're going to be in a somewhat grindy matchup, like against Santa for example, or a Vulcan maybe. In other matchups you just mulligan it and hope not to draw it. Yeah, the reward is good because you get Psycho 3 or something I guess, and random Psychic powers. Again, it's super random and the Psychic powers themselves are random. I don't think it's a win condition on its own. It's more like a tech card for slower metas. Against Mortarion it's fairly good, I suppose. Center, as I mentioned. So, but that's about it. In the other cases you will mulligan it, and keep in mind that you're playing a Primarch, so you're standing with 1 less card because of your Whispers. So kind of risky to play it. But if you're feeling brave, include it. Then we got Engto, that's like their 4 energy for damage tactic, which almost every legion has. I don't like it too much, it's not bad, but it's one of the worst 4 energy deal 4 tactics because you are not guaranteed to receive the effect, and even if you receive it, it's not particularly good. It's not like Precision Bombardment where you also draw a card, it just goes back to your deck. So you can reuse it indefinitely. It was kind of broken when it released, I remember it was like, it returns back to your hand if you didn't have any troops. That was of course obnoxiously overpowered, and now it's somewhat underpowered. I wish it did something different. Now you can include 1 copy of course to gain some reach I suppose, but most of the time you will also have troops on your board and you won't benefit from the secondary effect. It's just 4 energy 4 damage most of the time. It's a personal preference not to include it, but you wouldn't be in the wrong to include it, so go ahead if you like to. Then 2 cards in 1, because it's like an obvious combo. Witchfire and Bellic Uthizar, they're 7 energy legendary troop. On their own, both cards are not particularly good in my opinion. You can of course play a Witchfire, but it's a random single target damage tool. I don't know, 2 to 5 is too high rolly for me, yeah, you know how it is. But what you can do, you can store up a shit ton of psychic energy and play Balak, and then you just cycle the Witchfires for I don't know how much damage. It depends on how much you saved, but then you will need a somewhat different deck build, maybe also with the Kamek squads, I think they're called, to energy to 2, and gain 2 psychic energy and maybe some flash changes as well. So that's a somewhat different deck archetype, like the OTK Balak combo basically. And if you want to play it, go ahead. You can also play it without editing the deck too much, I guess, to have a secondary win condition. But again, keep in mind you're playing a Primarch and that both of these cards might brick your hand. And then we got Horned Raymond. I also don't think it's too bad. It's just a bit overkill on Magnus because, first of all, we kind of want to take damage. And second of all, if you have Whispers, the shield effect is kind of useless, so you're basically playing a 7 energy City of Light. It's probably better on Sanakta and Ahriman. Here, as mentioned, it's kind of overkill, so still not a bad card if you're really not aiming at Whispers at all. Aside from that, a bit too expensive for what it does in Magnus, I suppose. Then some neutral cards. We got the Chilcha engine first. You can maybe play 1 or 2 instead of the Pehot Reckons or whatever these guys were called, the 1/4 which draw cards. Why this works good here, because the 1000 Suns have a lot of situational and also crucial troops like Izako or Meketra Cabal, etc, etc. And with this card you can basically fish for them when you need them. Also fish for the Pen to Dust, because Pen to Dust and 4 is probably your strongest 4 energy play. As mentioned, they have super strong legendaries, they have a couple situational troops, that's where the Chilcha engine kind of shines. So feel free to include 1 or 2 copies. And oh man, I didn't ever think I will suggest this, but dev sets. Why do dev sets work here?
Well, Midnight, usually you say when you have a good infection AoE, you do want to play dev sets.
Yes, we have a good infection AoE, but the thing is, the infection AoE is random as hell. And dev sets is random as hell as well. But guess what? You can play both at the same turn. Astral Warfare into dev sets. So that's 3 to 9 damage to the opponent's board. That most of the time is a board clear. And simply the fact that you can play both at the same turn makes them kinda good. But yeah, you see the problem. Dev sets, I hate dev sets. Random, bad, fuck it. Nonetheless, you see the idea here. It works cool with Astral Warfare. Then we got Pi Alpha. If you really don't want to play Manifest Destiny or don't have it, then play Pi Alphas, why not? It's a 2-2 body for 3 energy, kinda bad, but you heal 3 to your Warlord. And again, the more health you have, the more likely you are to reach Whispers with Magnus. Easy as that. And at last but not least, we got Honor to Barge. Kinda must include, well, not must include, but an auto-include in many decks right now. But here it doesn't have any particular synergies, and I'm just not playing it out of spite, because I hate this card. I can't wait for it to rotate out, because it's good against Titans obviously, but I didn't face too many lately. Only the Castigator, but there I just scoop it up honestly, because I didn't want to play it. Not because this deck can't win against it, but I just simply don't want to play this matchup. It's boring as hell. I just hope that Titans cease to exist at some point. And anyway, so Barge is of course a high roll card, can win you on the spot. And as mentioned, I just didn't include it here because out of spite and because it doesn't have any particularly cool synergies here. Anyway, that's it. That's the deck. Some alternative cards for you, and I'd say let's jump into some games. We are currently in High Terra, and I'm probably, yeah, 100 something points below top 50. It's still mid-season, so we might get some interesting games in. Let the cock and ball torture begin. Here we go. Amit! That's fucking annoying, but that's a good hand overall. We start off City of Light. We can kill off something like Meta the Squad, Bounce for Views commands, Angel's Tears. Let's see it. Again, it's not a guaranteed win. It's not like this deck totally counters Amit, but you can compete it against it. Let's call it like that. It's just, I don't know why Abigail does it, but they always overtune stuff for some reason, or make it the most uninteresting, like they buff it in the most uninteresting, uninspired way. I don't know, man. I don't really want to Same, or do I? Do I want a Psychic Energy here? Probably Astral Warfare. Psychic ability, I mean. Psychic power, whatever. Probably Astral Warfare. Will come in handy later when you place Angel's Tears, so better to have it than not to have it. So here I will probably use Informant Network and give that count attack. Or will I ping it? Okay, look, let's ping it and see what happens. Well, it killed it. Good enough. So yeah, Informant Network sometimes comes in handy. Now 3 damage to her face. Tempo Rookies. You hate to see it. Like, I play a lot of Blood Angel and you hate to see it. Oh man, anyway. We have nothing to play here really, so I'm just gonna play the Book of Magnus to get my Psychic Energies in my hand. And I have 9 cards, so if I play this, I'm gonna go to 10. So I'm not gonna play enumerations here. We have all the Psychic Energy ready. Unfortunately, nothing proactive to play. That kind of sucks. Oh well, here we can play 2-leg. Or I just play Manifest Destiny and face bash this. But I probably want some Psychic powers here. I don't know. Let's just play 2-leg, I suppose. And hope that it pings me. Very good. Although it doesn't really matter that much. Because if he uses random ability again, he's probably gonna hit 2-leg anyway. He plays this crap too. Okay, this time you hit him. And face again. Now he plays this guy. So as you see, our Whispers are getting to a reasonable amount here. Let's get rid of that with a Cross Speeder. Ping hits me, perfect. And not gonna use enumerations again. We're gonna be in a tough spot soon. So Manifest Destiny will come in handy here. And Bane of Demons, well, he already plays it. Good. So, let's see. I will need like 14 psychic energy for... yeah. I died to double shock assault, so it's time to use Manifest here. And let's play Tempo 2 leg. I don't care about psychic energy too much anymore. Don't want to draw. I can use enumerations once, whatever. Maybe should have done it before. Yeah, whatever. I know I would have overdrawn, so yeah, everything fine, everything fine. I would have overdrawn if I used it before 2-leg. Okay, interesting. Prophecy revealed again. And yeah, 6 health, but Whispers time, gentlemen. Let's see if we can kill this, right? If I won't be able to kill it, I will just use the counterattack on it, I think. But yeah, we will still have to... we still have a long way to go here, let's call it like that, you know? Because he has 24 health, of course. But yeah. Pops the shield. Goldstones. Fucking naked, it pisses me off to see that. But well, it is as it is. Yeah, well, that's an obvious Ash and Blow target, I suppose. We can use our ability first here, I think, to get the shield. Let's see. Okay. Pings that again. Perfect. And we Ash and Blow this crap. And, well, actually, I don't want him to pop my shield. So what I do first is I play Cabal. I play Reckon. I play Hidden One. And Ash and Blow it now. Doesn't hit my shield. Good enough. If you Crimson Spectre here, I don't care too much, I think. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Malgator on the fucking Hidden One. You hate to see it. He will probably just use his ability here, I suppose. Yeah, that's the best target, arguably. Or not. Okay. Aramis Cabal, pretty good. So, this is likely to die anyway. I will probably play the Immunis first before I use my ability. I could also Astral Warfare here, honestly. Yeah, let's Astral Warfare, right? I don't think both pings will ever hit this. I have a shield already, so... yeah, I will have to use it at some point, so let's Astral Warfare here. Playing first so it doesn't pop my shield. Still pops my shield. Okay. Now I will use my ability still, because I still want the shield, of course, yeah. And just attack with that. Plays a bit around Crimson Spectre. Okay. And here's Crimson Spectre. Okay. Heals him for 2. Well, he's out of lethal range, I guess. Okay. So... Astral Warfare... yeah. Nah, I can't play both. So yeah, we're not done here yet, obviously. So I play Mechanical Cabal again. Face Bash. Use my ability to shield up. Hidden One. And City of Light. So... I guess he can still finish me with some good RNG here, like... Prophecy Revealed. But yeah, it doesn't look like he has it. Pretty good! So yeah, I think that was already a pretty good highlight of the deck. We didn't draw any of the really good troops, but regardless, that went pretty well. Off to the next one. Forrix! Okay, okay. Let's see it. Well, that's a surprise, but a pleasant one. Don't think I'll go for Whispers here. Well, depends if he'll his mission or not. Let's just play City of Light first, of course. I'm not gonna face bash, as mentioned. I just first wanna see what he's up against. What we're up against here, boys. I also don't feel like playing Mechatric Ball on tempo here. He doesn't play mission, okay. So we're not face bashing. We're not losing the long game. I'm just gonna end turn here. No need to hurry. If he is gonna play barricades, I'm gonna smash into them. Oh, bro, you fucked up. Okay, so here I'm gonna start off with an Informer Network, and next turn I'm just gonna play Hot Barracan into Mechatric Ball. I like protect the Hot Barracan with Mecha Ball a little bit, you know. Maybe it won't work because Precision Bombardment or Superior Firepower, but that's some good synergy here. We'll draw some cards. So he plays mission but didn't play turn 1. Oh, Tristan. Dock Coin Adept, okay. Would really like to remove him here. And he goes face for some reason, okay. So yeah, Astral Warfare, not yet, bit too greedy. So let's play Cabal. Let's hide the Wrecking behind it, face bash the barricade. If he is gonna play something here which will get the siege load, whatever, it's not that important, I think. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So, I have a couple options here. I can probably just Megator the Dock Coin Adept, but I don't think I want to do that because then he can replay it for a combo. So, I'm just gonna Warfare here. I think it's good enough, and we clear the whole board. Pretty sweet. Let's drop let's get Book of Magnus, because it draws us 3 cards. And do I want to attack with this one? I probably don't. It can stay around. It can trade into something or kill a barricade. Eat a Precision Bombardment instead of a face bash. I think it's better. Okay. So Precision Bombardment 2? Or no? Okay. Oh. Yeah, this has to go. And we draw the perfect card for that. So a couple options here again. I could Melgator and Quaspeter. Yeah, I like that. Let's Melgator. Oh. Excuse me, well, let's Quaspeter. And face bash that. Don't need to use Psychic Energy on this. And let's get a City of Light, since we have a full hand of Psychic powers. Okay. I could Astral Warfare again, but I will probably do this into 2 lag. We kill this, because it's I don't want this around. And we play Pen to Dust here. Hopefully he doesn't have a precision, what's it called? Superior Firepower, that would suck. Oh boy. Yeah, Ash and Blow will obviously come in handy here. Almost misclicked. Oh crap. Let's trade here. Heal myself. Now I'm gonna face bash because I'm fairly ahead here and don't think I will get Whispers soon, but whatever. Yeah. Plays a bit into Wild Bombs, but that's about it. That's game. Pretty good. Pretty good. Unfortunately, not the most meta opponent, and kind of misplayed a little bit, but regardless, pretty good. And I'd say let's play another one. Geigor. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Let's keep informant network. In case he plays
Rage against the dying
scouts.
light.
We are the All-Father's lightning.
Here we are. He does indeed play scouts. Let's command bridge into... I guess I do want astral warfare here. Yeah. Yeah, Space Wolves is a pretty bad matchup, but let's see if we can do something here. He just uses these guys, okay. He just uses them. Here's City of Light. I'm just gonna use it. Don't need for Informant Network anymore. I just face bash these. He doesn't have counterattack, so it's fine. Really? Tempo that out. I see. So, let's do this. Face bash again, and I'll give this fella here counterattack so he can't trade into this here. That's okay. City of Light again. I dig it. Let's Mechanical Ball. And let's try to ping here. Let's see if it works. Yeah, of course. Only rolling one. It is as it is. So he will probably just trade here and use ability on that. Okay. So that's gonna be a decent astral warfare, I believe. I have to do it because of this crap here. Kills that, perfectly fine, and let's play the hidden one. So if I get the right tactics here, it's gonna be pretty good. Wolf Claw, oh, that's fine. Okay. Sure, let's use ability first, and we're gonna get... That's okay, I suppose. Might be fun. Let's Informant, kill the scouts, and play a Reckon. Could have bounced that back, but whatever. He's gonna kill it, and I'm just gonna Underverse next turn. I think it's funny. Punitive Strike, oh, that sucks. This way. This gets back into the pool of cards, which might get re-underversed. Here we get a same. Let's underverse. Pretty good. I dig that. Face bash. And I could have same that, I guess. But I don't feel like. I'm probably gonna use it on myself at some point. Come on, again it happens. Okay, well, now I need a good ping. Now I just... Fuck, okay, Astral Warfare, that does the trick as well, I suppose. I'm just gonna do it. Or not. Let's ping it. Hits for 2, good enough. Hidden 1. And... let's same myself. I'm getting kind of close to death. I could also save it in case I draw ore at some point, but... oh, fuck, whatever. I'm kind of afraid of stuff like double... well, that doesn't do anything. There was a misplay here. Could have attacked me once. So let's see what we get. Punitive Strike, Iron Fenris. Ooh, I like Iron Fenris here. I could have also played Punitive Strike, but I want to draw a troop. Oh, 3. Jesus, that sucks. Okay, then let's do this. Iron Fenris. Immunus Squad. Okay. Now this shit stuns me, right? Let's Malgit. He will kill the Immune squad with it then. I don't mind. Yeah, let's milk it. I don't have a better option here, I think. So let's do this. And milk this crap. Oh, nah, actually that was pretty stupid, wasn't it? He will trade and... okay, yeah. Never mind. I should have just played Aramin's Cabal, but then... Oh well, who knows. Might still be okay. 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 Oh, he keeps it for something better. Well, it turned out fine. I goofed, but... good enough. I goofed, but good enough. Quaspeeder, perfect top deck. And I think that. I really would love an enumerations here, to be honest. Okay. I can either face bash and whispers, or I play Hot Parakan as a decoy, so to say, and the Cabal. Like, he will deal 10 damage to me next turn. I feel like I'll have to whispers. Because he will deal like 10 to me, and then maybe he has 2 cards saved. So yeah, I gotta heal here and shield up. We'll have to whispers here. I don't know if that misplay earlier really cost me the game here, but we'll see. Holy shit. Yeah, you see, this would have been pretty dangerous. Oh, you goofed, dude. You missed damage. What are you doing, man? Fuck. Pento does coming a bit late. So let's shield up. Only one, that sucks ass. And let's play Pento and Aramin's Cabal. So yeah, let's just hope he doesn't have it, I suppose. He missed like 2 damage here. But he doesn't seem to have it, apparently. He's gonna put me out. What? Okay, doesn't matter, I suppose. Okay. Book of Magnus. Yes, please. So, do I want to Astral Warfare here? I guess I won't, because I have enough psychic energy anyway. Oh, that's fucking nasty, dude. Oh, yeah, and with my thingy. Okay, I'm a bit tired. It's almost 2 AM. But anyway, I don't know if his misplay there really mattered. I think it didn't, and I think my misplay didn't matter at all as well. But yeah, this should be it for the day. I think we had like 2 somewhat difficult matchups and we handled them. And a mission Forrix where we just straight up dominated, honestly. And we just went according to plan. So as you see, it works. It's a decent deck. I don't think you can climb with it into the stratosphere like top 10 or something. But nonetheless, if you're eager to use a Primarch like Magnus because you like the Thousand Suns and the lore behind him, like you're a Thousand Suns fan, then go ahead. That's your deck, my friend. That's your deck. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This should be it for the day. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss more deck guides. And of course, always feel free to comment what you would like to see next. And I guess we'll see each other on Friday. We're gonna stream again, new event and some ladder as usual. And I hope to see you guys around then. And until then, midnight out.